Hi, I'm Arlene and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you a recipe to make your very own back bacon at home. You're going to need 4 liters of cool fresh water, 6 teaspoons of pink curing salt number 1. Curing salt is comprised of 93 3/4% salt and 6 1/4% nitrite. We're adding this to prevent botulism poisoning. And because of that, you cannot replace this with pink Himalayan salt, as that does not contain any nitrite. As you can see, mine is actually called Prague powder number 1. It is also called Instacure number 1 and pink curing salt number 1. Next we'll need 1.5 cups of kosher salt, 1 cup of brown sugar. You can also go ahead and use white sugar if you'd prefer. I'm adding in sage and thyme, a bunch of each, and a couple of cloves of garlic. Now that you have all your ingredients, it's time to put them in the water and stir them up thoroughly. And you will be ready to put in the meat. You'll notice the meat goes in and floats back up. All we need to do is weigh it down. And there's a couple ways we can do this. Some people will use a zipper top bag filled with brine or water and place it on top. I'm using a plate. Once it's been weighted down, you can put it in the fridge for 3 days for it to cure. After those 3 days are done, you take it out of the fridge and give it a good rinse. I should have taken off the fat cap as it was quite thick, but I was very happy with how this turned out. There's a couple of things we can do with this meat now. You can put it in a barbecue and smoke it up to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. And unfortunately, I lost the video of me doing that. Another option is to put it in the oven until it's 150 degrees, as I'm doing here. The other thing we can do is leave it as is and call it pea meal bacon, where you would normally roll it in cornmeal. And that came from pea meal. Years ago, it was yellow pea meal that we would roll it in. Now it's cornmeal, and we call it pea meal bacon. And it's delicious. I'm slicing up the cooked loin so that I can freeze it. I'm going to do the same thing with the pea meal bacon. The original recipe did say to take off the fat cap. I decided not to, but I think that was a bit of a mistake. As you can see, it is quite thick. I also did not roll this in the traditional cornmeal. I didn't have any, and quite frankly, I cannot stand when it gets all over my fingers. After I finish slicing these, I'm going to tray them up and put them in the freezer for easy storage. I like to line my tray with parchment paper so that it's easier to take them off when they're ready. When I'm ready to cook them, I love to brown up some butter and throw them into that. I did end up trimming off the excess fat, if in case you're wondering. I thought it was a bit much for myself. I ended up cutting the slices of meat in about 1/4-inch cuts, so they cook up pretty fast. Been in there for a couple of minutes now, so it's time to turn it over. You can see that it's picking up the beautiful brown color from the butter and from the heat itself. I'm trying to get every bit of brown butter on this meat as I possibly can. So I keep flipping it over like it's going to absorb it like a sponge, but it won't. It's done now. I should just let it go because I have a plan for this. And the plan is to take out the meat and add the bun. So now I'm going to add my bun and pick up whatever I can with the brown butter and let the bun get toasty warm. And which is often topped with caramelized onions, which I didn't do today, but it worked out just fine. The meat only takes a few days to make, and it's well worth your time to try. And although I'm showing you on a sandwich today, having it with breakfast is also a great idea. Served with hash browns and a couple of over easy eggs, some toast, fantastic. I would like to thank you for joining me today, and I hope you put this on your menu very soon.